I just want to talk to you about the importance of truly defining what you want. There are so many people out there, actually about 98% of the world is just walking around, even though they have a purpose. They have a purpose, they have a calling over their life, but they don't even know what that is because they've never actually taken the time to be honest with what they truly want and honest with the potential and service that they can give back to humanity. So for example, for me, I was scared shitless of disappointing my family. And if you come from an immigrant family, you know that their story is always, well, you need to go to college, you need to get a government job or a stable job so that you can be secure. And as a daughter of two parents who were entrepreneurs and they were constantly up and down, up and down, up and down, they didn't want the life of entrepreneurship for me. So they truly always encouraged me to get a stable job and graduate in college. What's crazy about that is that at 18 years old, I literally had the job that most people go to college for. And it's the craziest thing because it's like, I was going to college just to do a checklist to prove to my parents and to my family that I was doing right by our bloodline, right? That was the right thing to do to our bloodline. But in reality, it was like the saddest, most depressed times of my life because I knew that school wasn't for me. And even though I forced it upon myself, I went to school, I graduated with a 3.5 GPA in economics and business administration. And it was still like, it didn't fulfill me. I graduated and it was just a piece of paper. And if you're someone who went to school and you're not actually using your degree, which I kind of am, I'm in business, I'm in business consulting now. However, I didn't have to go that route. Like everything that I learned was actually self-taught, was through finding a mentor. And when I was finally honest with myself, once I graduated and I was like, okay, I did this didn't fulfill me. Everybody else is so happy for me, but I'm not happy for myself. I actually hate who I am and I don't feel like I'm anything or I have any value to add to the world because I had worked so hard and I sacrificed so much. I went into debt. To get this piece of paper that I didn't even necessarily need. And it wasn't until I had failed this, it's a MLO test, a mortgage loan originator test. And I failed that test and I was sitting in my car crying because I was like, what the heck am I doing with my life? I graduated from college. I just took this test. This isn't even really what I want to do. I guess I'm just doing this because I hear that there's good business and good money to be made. And I was really just chasing the money. I was chasing the status instead of chasing fulfillment and what I truly knew that I needed to be in order to be happy and fulfilled and actually contribute to society. I'm sitting here today, or I'm standing here today telling you guys, please drown out the outside world and really decide what it is that you want. Sit down and understand, okay, well, what have I overcome in my life? What makes me so different? What can I contribute to society? What can I do to really impact the world around me if money and time wasn't an object? Hey guys, so sorry I interrupted this video, but I wanted to make sure you guys know that you can always reach out to me personally at this number, or just go ahead and shoot me a DM on my Instagram at Ciera Pro, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Now let's get back to the video. If money and time wasn't an object, who would you be? What would you do? What would you have? And if you're actually able to tap into that and just drown out the outside world, you're gonna be so powerful. And the weight of the world, right? The weight of the world is going to dissipate from around you, and you're going to finally get in a flow state. Because as soon as I decided, hey, I'm gonna shift, this is what I'm gonna do, people, places, and circumstances started to just come into my existence and show me that I was on the right path. And I was meeting so much resistance because I knew that that wasn't for me. And this isn't to be confused with obstacles. Obviously, when you're chasing a big life, you are going to face obstacles, you are going to face challenges, but you will have the strength to overcome them because God will not give you anything that you can't handle, especially if it's for your purpose. Like, just think about King David, right? Like when he was just a little kid and he was fighting Goliath. Obviously, the world was saying, hey, you're crazy, you're just a kid, how are you gonna do that? But God gave him the strength. God gave him the mindset. He fortified his mind in order to take on this giant. He didn't tell the world how big his problems were. He told the world how big his God is. So tell the world how big your dream is, how it's a God-sized dream, and God will fortify you so that you can overcome that. And obviously in these beginning stages, people are going to negative comments. They're gonna be like, what is it you're doing? Why are you even doing this? You just spent all this time trying to accomplish this. And I want you guys to understand that you're not starting from zero, you're starting from experience. And that was something that when I heard that quote, it really gave me peace, because I was like, man, now I'm starting from scratch all over again. But you're not, because you've had all these experiences, you've overcome all of these challenges. You're someone who number one is honest with themselves. So you're already ahead of the majority of the world, because most people literally cannot even be honest with themselves. It's crazy. Like, I can be on the phone coaching somebody and they are so blind to the reality of their situation, and they refuse to believe it. And then finally, when those walls come down and they're honest with themselves and they break down crying that they've been lying to themselves this whole time, that's okay, guys, because now you can actually build upon that. You can't build a life upon a deck of lies, right? Your deck has to be solid. It has to be built on truth. As you're doing this, I want you to find evidence in the world around you and in your past experiences. Look to your past and understand that you've overcome so much. And the person that you once were, guys, you are most qualified to help that same exact person now. So find evidence in your past that you are who you say you are, and that you are someone who keeps their word to themselves. Even if you had to redirect your life, you are honest with yourself. And that's really what I want you guys to take from this message, is to be honest with yourself at every pace, at every stage of your life, because the person who can self-correct daily and can be honest with themselves and have really high self-awareness is the person who can truly make an impact, who can truly be fulfilled and truly have health. Because a lot of times people who are not honest with themselves are the people who are the sickest. They're the people who look at themselves in the mirror and they're not healthy. A lot of times people who get like these ailments like cancer and these autoimmune diseases is because they're literally at war with their mind every single day, because they're harvesting anger, they're harvesting resentment, they're harvesting shame, guilt, all these negative emotions. And that actually manifests into like these chronic illnesses, and it could all been solved with honesty, being honest with themselves. Are they really who they say they are? Are they fulfilling their purpose? Do they have hope for their future? Are they honest with themselves about what they're putting in their body? Because most of the time people are like, oh, well, you know, like I'm healthy, but they're not being honest with themselves. Because if they were truly, they know the information. Obviously, if I was to ask you right now, hey, is a burger healthy, or would you rather have a chicken and rice? You're gonna be like, shit, okay, well, chicken and rice is probably the right way to go. But guess what? They're gonna be like, oh, burger is good because me and all this stuff, which is fine. You can eat burgers. I'm not saying not to. Anything that you just consistently build upon and you know that it's not true is going to manifest into something that you don't want. And all of a sudden your life is going in a downward spiral. So find evidence in your past that you are who you say you are and you can overcome things, but also use this time to future pace yourself in the future. So for example, one of the favorite things that I like to do is to tell the truth in advance. So before I was someone of influence, before I had anything, I was telling myself that I was someone of influence, which is true, because if you're somebody who literally you're at a grocery store and you're like, hey, this fruit is amazing, and then somebody goes and buys this fruit, are you not a person of influence? A lot of people think that they don't have influence, that they can't impact anyone's life around them, but you're actually impacting lives around you all the freaking time. Future pace yourself, tell yourself the truth in advance, because you know that if you're actually aligning that with the right mindset and you're taking action, you're eventually going to get there. Before Andy Elliott was the #1 sales trainer in the world, he was telling people that he was the #1 sales trainer in the world. And eventually, because he believed that he could, he truly believed that he was the #1 sales trainer in the world, the market just hadn't recognized him yet, because he just hadn't had the amount of attention. He hadn't harnessed the eyeballs of the world. But now that he has met that with action, and people have actually recognized him as a #1 sales trainer in the world, because people are actually getting results based on what he's taught them. Now, guess what, guys? That future pacing that he did in 2020 is now his reality. So I encourage you guys to actually go ahead and do that as well. And when it comes to taking action, guys, I'm not talking about a little bit of action. You need to open up the floodgates. You need to take massive action, like if your life depends on it, because it literally does. If you are not preparing for the life that you need, if you're not preparing for the opportunity that needs to be seized, if you are not the right person that you need to be when that opportunity presents itself, you are not going to seize it. So it's super, super important for you to actually take massive, massive action and align yourself with what service you can do with humanity. Stop asking yourself, well, what can I get out of this? How much money can I make out of this? Guys, what you're getting and the money is a byproduct for the amount of quality service you can give to humanity, right? Money is just a tool of exchange. It's a tool to say, hey, look, I'm giving you this in exchange for this product and service, for your expertise, whatever the case it is that you are going to dabble in. But if you are not actually thinking of it like, how can I serve? Guys, that is how you're going to unlock abundance. Service unlocks abundance. And that's truly how you're gonna be fulfilled, healthy, and happy. Literally, it's that simple. And then as you're taking this massive action, like I said, you're going to align yourself with the people that you need to have. And one of the most important people that you can have in your life is a mentor. I've had so many mentors in my life. And before I can actually physically pay a mentor in my life to have that proximity, to have all that, guys, start with a book. You reading a book based on what it is that you need to learn to become an expert in is a mentor. I consider everybody, every author in my library a mentor of mine. Before, when I was in college and I didn't have any money to scrape together because all my money was going towards literally my food, my bills, and my schooling, every single book that I read, I considered that person a mentor. Every single Audible book that I read, I considered that person a mentor until I actually was making money that I could actually pay to have like one-on-one and group setting conversations with a mentor. Also, find mastermind groups, guys. The power of proximity with people who not only know what you want to know, but are also winning at a really high level. If you're someone who doesn't have a lot of confidence, surround yourself with people that have a lot of confidence. I can guarantee you're gonna start becoming like those people. Surround yourself with people that have a lot of confidence, that have a lot of success, that are doing things at a really high level that you've never even dreamed about doing. Because guess what, guys? That's the power of a mastermind. Your mind is a receiver and transmitter of frequency. So when you are locking arms, or locking minds, better said, with other people who are super high level and they're actually doing really big things in their life, your mind is going to be bouncing back off and forth off of these people. So I highly encourage you to really audit your circle, because you're going to be a culmination of everybody that you surround yourself with. So that's why we really love doing events every single month. We don't just do events every single month to just give back and obviously teach and encourage people to grow. But we do it because this room is truly a cultivation of every single mind that walks through that door. And that is why when people leave here, they are so inspired. They have a new belief system because they literally latched onto the belief system of every single person in this room. And there's 500 people that all have the same core values, that all have the same mindset, that are really looking to just elevate their mind. And they made a decision to be here today to unlock that new level of themselves, to give themselves the belief that they can truly become who it is that they think they can become. And then that's why they go back into the world and they're like, holy shit, I'm so different than everybody else, because you are. The outside world isn't doing things like this. The outside world is numb. The outside world can't be honest with themselves. They're truly just going from point A to point B and they have their blinders on. It's literally like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Bird Box, but that crazy movie Thomas made me watch. They're literally living life with blinders on. They can't even see because they're just trying to get from point A to point B. They're trying to survive. And it's truly just like that, because most people are just trying to survive. They're living a life of them just being, oh, well, this is what society thinks I'm supposed to do. This is what my parents think I'm supposed to do. This is what my past self. So many people are chained to their past self, their past belief that they can't be honest with themselves. If there's one thing that, if you actually know me, if there's one thing that you know, that when I'm presented with new information, I am not afraid to say, oh, my past self, that person was wrong. Now I know this new information. I'm going to change. I'm going to adjust, because that is the power of you being able to self-correct yourself daily. Really assess your beliefs. Is this truly what I still believe? Is this truly what I still want? I encourage you to apply what you learned, reflect on it, and then adjust. Your whole life is constantly just apply, reflect, adjust, apply, reflect, adjust. And I promise you are going to get so far. So when you're looking for a mentor and you're studying different things like books, YouTube, audiobooks, podcasts, all these things, I really encourage you to not just read, but also listen through your ears, because any way that you can take in different words and expand your vocabulary, this is where the windows to see your world will expand, because words are the window to see the world. There was a study done with inmates that inmates actually had a very low vocabulary. There's a correlation between crime and the execution in which you're doing your life, right? So if you actually have an expansive vocabulary and you're someone who can draw from ideas and actually communicate, because when you're actually someone who can communicate effectively, are you not going to have more influence? When you're able to communicate and master a stranger, master communication, influence, all these things, do you think that you can walk into a room and make something happen and make connections and network with the right people and share your message, share your beliefs, share your core values? Because if you can't communicate to other people in a way that which they can understand you, then how are you going to impact them? It's not just what is said, it's how you say it. Guys, so your words matter. What you tell yourself matters. Whether you're honest with yourself, it freaking matters. So only when the word becomes flesh will your glory behold your story. Guys, you really, really need to truly audit your life, audit what it is that you truly want, so that you can truly become the person that you want to be and have glory to your story. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to follow and subscribe and ask any questions you want in the comments.